Welcome to the fourth episode of Throwlicious Live. My name is Andreas Nie and I'm coming to you live from the Spin Central studios here in Düsseldorf, Germany, where everything is a little bit more exciting and eventful today than I actually care for. But sometimes you cannot really make a choice or do anything about it. Anyway, so exciting things today. My guest for today is already waiting to be interviewed. It's Mr. Greg Pettit, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. Oh well, we will find out from the man himself in a few minutes. What else? I've got some unboxing to do of some mystery, no, they're not mystery packages, I know what's in there, but the way they got to me was kind of a mystery. And I will kicking off my first 5 favorite Yoyo packages. If you've watched the trailer of today's show, then you know that I've compiled a top 10 list of my favorite Yoyo boxes and packages, and today I'll be looking at boxes 10 to 6, so to speak. I said that again. And so 10 to 6 is the number that I will be looking at for today. And yeah, so that's going to be exciting. And in episode 5, of course, I will look at my top 5. So you can look forward to that already. But, and I scooch over, and if you've watched shows before, then you know that whenever I scooch over, it's time for the news. Let's see if I can actually do that. Ooh, that's big. All right, so kicking off with an interview with Mark Montgomery. He has his Mark Mod Classic out since like 2 days now, I think. 30th November, September the 30th, October the 30th. Well, the 30th, you know what I mean, was the release date for his Markman Classic. You've probably seen the teasers and everything that he did prior to the launch of this Yoyo, and now he's come together with Andre Boulay from Yoyo Expert to do an interview and answer some questions. So head over to YouTube and look for the Yoyo Expert channel, where you can find this wonderful, like roughly 30-minute interview with Mark. Get some insights on how he made the yo-yo, what inspired him, what got him into playing yo-yos, doing some old-fashioned tricks, and he actually answers questions like, is it more difficult to compete nowadays than it was back in the old days? So definitely worth watching it. Speaking of competition, and here I need to make all this thing. Let's see. Oh, it worked. European Yo-Yo Competition 2015 is upon us, and it will go on when is that? 5th to 7th of March 2015 in Krakow in Poland. What's really cool is the cool and awesome people from Backspin are organizing that, or are having a big hand in that. And of course, Backspin makes great, awesome videos. So check out their latest announcement video about, or their teaser trailer about the thing. Something just beeped on me. Let's see. No, everything looks fine, so I don't care about beeping cameras. Anyway, so yeah, check out the video on the Backspin channel on YouTube. It's really awesome because it has some really cool effects and everything. So Backspin always makes really cool videos, and this one is no exception. In fact, it's one of my favorites right now because it uses the cool soundtrack and the cool effects. So definitely check out that video. Now, another competition that is coming at us in 2015, of course, is Worlds. This time in Japan and Tokyo, first time in Asia. Pretty excited about that. Now, you probably know that there are some seeding rules for the competition. So if you've won big competitions, you get certain seats inside this whole, well, it's not a ladder system, but you know, they have wild cards, they have prelims, they have semifinals, and they have finals. And depending on where you won what, you get to start already higher up in this progression thing. Now, for 2014, it was like the current champion was seeded for the finals, and also the winners, the two winners of the multinational contest, namely the Asian Pacific champion and the European champion. The Americans didn't have a seat because they didn't have a multinational contest this year or in that period, so they didn't get a seat. But this year, around New Year's, we of course have Las Vegas Open, and that is multinational contest, and they will get a seat. And also Latin America, which is being held in Mexico, the Latin America contest also will get a seat. And to accommodate all those seats, and the International Yo-Yo Federation is expecting even more multinational competitions in the future, they decided to move down the seed position from the finals to the semifinals. So nowadays the multinational champions will not automatically enter in the finals, but will have to go through the semifinals. Now, interesting to me is that is the same position that the national champions also start. So, for example, the German champion, Carlos Braun, by the way, defending champion, he will start now in the semifinals, and it doesn't really matter to him, really, if he wins the European Championship as well in, as I just said, March, because that doesn't really improve his seed in Worlds. So I find that a rather interesting constellation where people in that one national contests get the same seats at international or multinational contests. It's going to be interesting how that plays out, and I expect that some more changes will be made to the general seating system in the near future. You know, it's a new concept. It's a cool concept, I think, and of course it's bound to be improved here and there. So look out for the International Yo-Yo Federation website. That's IYYF.org, right? For further updates and news, and I guess you will hear and learn about that from other websites and maybe here as well. So anyway, check out that, and if you're planning to go to any other multinational contests and everything, make sure to always keep updated on the rules. Now, on to some more yo-yos. Right. There's a special edition coming to Yo-Yo Raven, and Vilmos Zoltankis's signature yo-yo will get some awesome new colors, and they are being made with the help of, oh no, that's a koi. I don't have a Valor right now here with me, but you get the picture. If you watched episode 1, oh man, the camera just died. La 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 la. Okay, I will take care of that in a minute. Anyway, so if you've watched episode 1, you know that Yo-Yo community makes some awesome artistry colorways, and obviously Vilmos has teamed up with them to get some special colors for his shop, and he will be releasing the colors one by one. There each day he will publish a new color until Wednesday, November the 5th at midnight. They will be made available. So look out for Yo-Yo Raven, the workshop of Yo-Yo Raven, for those cool colors. If you haven't picked up available, and if you're looking for a special color, that is exactly the one that you're looking for. This is actually the first time that these artistry editions are being made available directly here in Europe, and that we don't have to get it from the United States of America, which is pretty cool. Saves shipping and everything. All right, and last but not least, here is a Kickstarter project, yet another Kickstarter project about yo-yos. This time it comes from Mark McBride, and he wants to make yo-yos. Well, big surprise, but he wants to make yo-yos for all of us. So we can all go there and get our own yo-yo. Put in the specs in a system. You can kind of see the prototype here, down here. There's a tool where you can enter all kinds of specs, and then you press a button and voila, you get your own yo-yo. Currently, he is at, well, roughly $2,500 of the $28,000 goal that he set himself. Still 34 days to go. You can buy different packages and actually support this little project of his. What he needs the money for is refining the whole system, getting some blanks, and making sure that the whole back end side of the web page and everything, that works fine. Because apparently he already has tools and he already has a prototype website, so you know he's that's already a tested and proven process, and he doesn't really start from scratch. So that's really cool, I think, because yep, the risk of this whole endeavor is relatively low. So about a month still to go. Make sure to go to Kickstarter and search for the Riot Mouse Toys Kickstarter project and support Mark McBride in his endeavor. All right, cool. So that does it for the news, and I turn off the thing again and I'll scooch back into the middle because it's interview time. All right, my interview partner for today, and I have to see if I can press some buttons here. My interview partner for today is none other than Greg Pettit, and I hope I can pronounce that correctly. I will unmute the gentleman right now. Let's see if you can hear us all right.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Excellent.
So hopefully everybody else can hear you as well. But now they can also see you. Say hi to the internet, Greg.
Hey, everybody.
Cool. All right. Greg, how about you give a short introduction first of yourself?
All right. So my name is Greg Pettit.
Aha.
A lot of people think it's Petit because I'm from Canada. Of course, there's a lot of French speakers in Canada, so I get that confusion a lot, but it's actually Pettit.
All right.
I'm in Ottawa, Canada. I started yo-yoing about 2 years ago. I have a family with a wife and 2 kids who seem to enjoy my yo-yoing and sometimes annoyed by my yo-yoing as well. And yeah, I'm a software developer during the day and yo-yo player all night. That's me. All
right. So you already said you're not like an old veteran when it comes to yo-yoing.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years, and it's funny because that's one of the things that you get a lot of comments on as an older player. I play anywhere, so I'll play in fast food lineup or just on a sidewalk or wherever, and I get a lot of comments, people saying, "Yeah, keeping young, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I am. I'm keeping young."
All right, so. Was that like the first time you picked up the yo-yo 2 years ago, or have you been? Did you play as a kid as well?
So yeah, when I was a kid, we had in Canada, yo-yo is a trademark name, and so I had a yo-yo that said yo-yo on it by the company. I think they're actually Papa's Toys, but on the package it's called Yoyo. So I had several of those, and I learned a few basics like walk the dog and rock the baby. I didn't even learn Eiffel Tower back then. So I think I had those 2 tricks and a couple of inside loops, and that was about it.
Okay, and what?
That's you know, I'd say probably about 12 years old maybe.
All right.
And I liked it well enough. I mean, I liked it enough to go out. Almost every week I would go out and buy a new one of these. They're basically Imperial yo-yos. I would sand them down and I would custom paint them. I mean, I thought I was the Eddie Van Halen of wooden yo-yos or something. You know, at some point in time, I think I didn't know you could get replacement string. And I had probably torn up all of the axles from trying to get the string out with a steak knife or something like that. And so I was out of yo-yos, and then they just sort of sat in a drawer. And many years later, I picked it up again.
All right. So how did you make the transition into modern day yo-yoing?
It was, I mean, it was a bit of a surprise. I didn't know there was modern. Oh, my family's home. Come here for a second. Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
That's my oldest. He likes yo-yoing too, right?
Right, cool.
So yeah, I made the transition. Actually, it was his inspiration. We had stopped by a toy store on the way home from where we were one day, and I just saw this display with some Omega yo-yos just lined up there, and one of them was a Brain Wing XP, I think it was called. And I thought to myself, you know, with a shape like that, I should be able to land a man on a flying trapeze, which I never could do as a kid. I thought, I'll land man on the flying trapeze, I'll show Rock the Baby to my son, and I'll be a yo-yo hero. Now, at that point in time, I didn't know there was modern yo-yoing still. So I got home, I unpackaged a yo-yo, I opened the trick book, and sorry about the dog noise. I don't know if it's super loud over there, but my dog's barking too. Anyway, I looked at the trick book, and I actually remembered, I flashed back to being 12 years old, and I thought to myself, you know, this is the problem I had back then too, is that the trick book, I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't figure out how to do a UFO based on the pictures and instructions they had. So not being able to do a UFO from the book, I ended up going online, of course, and as soon as you type in yo-yo tutorial into YouTube, you're going to end up with all kinds of stuff popping up on your screen. So in addition to a couple of tutorials I saw, I remember distinctly seeing the Boingy Boing tutorial from Andre Boulay, and a couple other tutorials, and then also the 2010 Jensen Kimmett World's Performance. And so, you know, my mind was blown, and I thought, you know, I'm going to do more than just learn UFO here. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with the rest of this yo-yoing stuff, this modern yo-yoing. And it kind of snowballed from there.
All right. Yeah, that brings back some good old memories from my period. I also started like 2.5 years ago, and I had a yo-yo as a kid as well, and so yeah, it was really shocking to me that yo-yos are really, you know, the aluminum ones are really expensive and everything. And I thought, I'm never going to buy one of those because I will ding it as soon as that touches my hand. So there was a lot of respect of that for the modern yo-yos. Yeah, what was your reaction when you kind of dive deeper into that world?
It was pretty crazy for me too. I mean, you know, once I realized, I didn't even really understand what a bind return was at first. So even though I knew there was modern yo-yoing, even though I had seen Jensen Kimmett, you know, doing his thing, I still didn't quite realize that I needed a whole different kind of yo-yo. So I went on to Yo-Yo Expert, and I started asking some questions. And you know, of course, everybody on the forum was quite friendly and answered the question. And I discovered pretty quickly that I needed something that was able to do what they called a bind return. So I needed an unresponsive yo-yo. And so I went to the store, of course, and looked around, and I got some serious sticker shock. I thought, oh my God, how do people pay this much for a yo-yo? And so eventually, I thought I was spending quite a bit of money by settling on a Dark Magic 2. Sorry, no, you know what? The Dark Magic 2 came next. First, before I even decided to go that far, I got the Yo-Yo Factory New Velocity. So it's a plastic yo-yo that you could tune to be unresponsive. And then I thought, you know, this is great, but I think if I step it up to the next level, that'll be enough for me, you know, like that'll be enough yo-yo for me. I'll get something with metal rims and still plastic. It's not too expensive. So I got the Dark Magic 2. And And once I got that, of course, another lovely yo-yo, but then people were saying, you know, you need something with no wall in the gap and this, that, and the other thing, and you might as well try a full aluminum. So then I got a budget metal yo-yo, which was a capless, because I'm still thinking these things are pretty expensive. So I had a C3 capless as my first real new retail price metal yo-yo. For I think they retailed for, were they $50 or $60, I think, and I think at that point in time I had enough yo-yo, and I knew I had enough yo-yo. But I was just hooked anyway. And so the price didn't really seem to matter anymore, because by this point in time I knew I was going to be sticking to it. And I knew I liked yo-yos. I enjoyed the metal yo-yo and I wanted more of them. And so I stuck around Yo-Yo Expert from that point on, and I started buying yo-yos. So,
all right, yeah.
First, and eventually I came around, I guess.
All right. Again, a lot of similarities. And I know my girlfriend can... talk forever about my, well, she calls it a buying obsession. I would just call it a collector's love of these little spinning toys. So that's a different perspective right there.
Yeah, you know, it's funny for me. It's a lot of people talk about being collectors, and I do have a fairly sizable collection right now. I think I have about 30 metal yo-yos plus various others. But I don't actually collect mine to collect them. I collect them because I feel like I want to play them all, you know? Like I want to know what they all play like and what their different characteristics are and the different feel in the hand. And I'm under no illusion that they're necessarily going to make me a better player, but I just find it interesting how differently different yo-yos can play.
Yeah, I had a similar thing where I thought, you know, I have no clue what these yo-yos play like. So I don't have a preference. So I got a bunch of used ones on the forums and everything, and went from there, and then kind of got into, well, buying more and even new stuff, and just kind of expanding from there. So it was kind of an exploring period for me.
Exactly. Yeah. I did the same thing with bearings and also with string. So.
All right. Well, I still have to cover that. So you're kind of ahead of that. To me, but you already mentioned the Yo-Yo Expert Forum, and you have a special status there. Is that correct?
Sort of, yeah. So I'm called a forum expert. If you see next to my profile, if you're ever on the forums, has a little title underneath my name. It says forum expert. It's really what it is just it's not a moderator position. I don't have any special powers or privileges on the forum. It's literally just that that title underneath my name, and I think I can delete my own posts.
Ooh,
it's my main power. You know, I have all this power now. I get asked every now and then to do moderator things. You know, people send me a private message, "Can you please moderate this?" And I always have to reply, "You know, sorry, I have this little title, but that's it."
Okay.
What it is really is it's just Andre and his staff. It's just their way of recognizing people that they feel are positive contributors, you know, who go above and beyond on the forum. And he selects, I believe he only selects one a year at most. And so somebody who for the previous year really stuck out as being a positive contributor, he picks them. He awards us a gift certificate, which of course, you know, who doesn't want to buy more yo-yos if you're already a forum? So you get a gift certificate, you get the title, and then you get the private messages asking if you can moderate a thread. That's about it.
All right, cool. So, but you're right. If you've been to the Yo-Yo Expert Forum, GregP is pretty much everywhere, which is really cool because you have some really cool input and some good insights into the thing. And even though you've been only there for a couple of years, so like 2 years, it's really cool.
Just over 2, yeah. You know, I have, you know, and anyone who's on the forum knows that's actually an embarrassing number of posts, but I'm just a compulsive person that way. I used to be into audio recording, so recording guitar and vocals and that sort of thing. And so I was on a popular audio recording forum, and it was the same story. I'm just, there's something about interacting with the community that I find that to be maybe not quite as much of an addiction as the yo-yo itself, but a very close second. So you know, interacting people and sharing what I know and learning new things. I mean, as much as I share, I'm on there asking questions as much as anybody else as well.
Right. Okay. Which is cool because that's how you learn, kids. You know, it's by asking questions and getting the right answers. And Yoyo Expert Forum is certainly a good place to go to get some answers and ask some questions. All right, but another thing that you did on the forum is organize a contest. And some people really try to do a contest on the forum, but yours was a little bit different. What exactly was it?
So going back to how you mentioned earlier that I'm not exactly I'm a new player but not a young person. Basically what it came down to is I was talking with my friend Jamie, who on the forums is known as Yo Old Man, and we were sort of, joking back and forth about how every now and then people threw up these video battles. And they weren't necessarily always full-blown contests, but they were, video battles where the young guys would square off against one another and collect votes. And, the most votes wins the battle. And there's not usually a prize for those sort of things. It's just a bragging rights kind of thing. And so we sort of agreed with each other that with our level of skill and compared to the young people on the forums, we were likely to get destroyed by almost anybody who stepped up to us. And I don't know if that's the case now, because remember, this is quite a while ago. We were both only at about a year of playing. And so Jamie and I believe it was his idea originally. He challenged me to a show your best skills after 1 year of playing contest. So we were both at roughly a year. He challenged me to this battle, and we decided we were going to put it up on the forums and solicit votes. And, maybe it'll be a laugh for these other people who are so much more talented than us to see what it's like to be an older guy throwing yo-yo after only a year. So that's sort of how it got rolling. And then I was talking about that sort of little battle with a couple of other friends, and they seemed interested in it. So I thought, well, we can make this into a 3 or a 4-way battle and do it that way. And by the time I think I was up to 5 or 6 people interested, I thought to myself, hey, do you guys, and this was all still private still, and I said, hey, do you guys mind if I open this up to the forums? Because I know there's other older players on the forums, and maybe they'd be interested too. So, one thing just sort of organically led to another. For my professional career, I've done marketing, I've done trade show organization, so I guess I must have had the skills for throwing that sort of thing together. And to take it a little bit beyond the informal stage, I think my child just got injured downstairs.
Uh-oh.
He's with his mother, so I'm not ignoring him. I'll continue the interview. He's in good hands with his mother. So the battle anyway. So I put it out there. I started a thread. Said, hey guys, here we are. We're a bunch of older players. Why don't you submit your videos? I came up with the timeline. Do it within this month or whatever it was. Within this next 4 weeks. And it wasn't until it was more formal that I started soliciting a few prizes from people. I contacted Andre. For the first year, I said, hey, I know you probably get these requests all the time, but do you mind supporting this contest? And then there was a few of the other sort of local businesses that wanted to be a part of it. I shouldn't say local businesses, but like the forum. You know how there's a few of these young entrepreneurs on the forum, and they want to contribute as well. So I had Unknown Strings on board and a few other people. I should have made a list before the interview, but unfortunately I don't have one. Anyway, so that first year, it just took off. Sorry if I'm rambling, this is how I am. But after the contest took off, we had not only a lot of participants, but a lot of interested viewers. And so at the end of the contest, they said, you really need to do that again next year. And so for 2014, I held it again at roughly the same time, contacted all the original contestants, and saw if they were on board. Obviously put the thread out there for the public and decided to break it into 2 divisions. There's the people coming up on a year, and then the people who have a certain level of experience. People who consider themselves more than just a beginner thrower. So,
yeah.
So that's the old folks. I called it the old folks who can sort of throw battle. Because the first year it was mainly people who were at about 1 year. So we could sort of throw. We were more than just beginners, but we weren't, these superstar throwers. And then I think the consensus now that we're going to be all up on our 3rd year is that we'll change the name for next year. We'll see what we call it. I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right.
I'm still here. I haven't gone away.
Okay. So you're planning another round here, and it's really cool because with the prizes and the sponsorship involved, it really becomes a very professional looking contest. So it's not, you know, one of those little things where people say, oh hey, let's try something, hand in videos, and then we decide who wins. But there's actually a little bit more thought behind it, and a really neat concept.
Well, it should be, and I should mention the sponsors for this past year. You know, we had Yoyo Expert on board again, of course. One Drop Yo-Yos donated a couple Valors. Omega threw in a Darth Vader yo-yo, which was awesome. That was the Glide.
Right.
We had the very first donor was actually Two Sick Yo-Yos, which is an independent company. He offered me one of his Gambits to give away. And so we did that as a raffles. And the reason we did the raffle is so that even people who didn't necessarily, they weren't confident that they would win the whole contest or even place top 3, they would still have some sort of incentive to submit a video because they might win a nice metal yo-yo out of it. And we had, you know, a couple of my dog. We had a couple of people from the previous year as well. We had Unknown Strings back on board. You know, so I could give out string packs to anybody who entered. So anybody who submitted a video could enter. Anyway, I believe I'm missing 1 or 2 people, but I believe that covers the main ones. And next year we're going to do more of the same. And I know I've talked to Andre, who's interested in seeing where the contest goes. And we're going to talk a little bit more when the time comes closer. And I don't know if that means that there's going to be an even larger sponsorship presence from Yo-Yo Expert. I really don't know.
All right.
All I know is it means that Andre and the people at Yo-Yo Expert are very interested in supporting the contest, which is great.
Which is awesome. One of the funny things I noticed in the discussion around the contest is how do you actually define somebody being old? So there was a lot of thing going back and forth, like where does old really start? And it's really interesting or really funny to see how like people in their 20s, mid-20s even said, oh, am I old enough already as well to join this contest? Normally they would just say, no, I'm young and everything, but now everybody wanted to be old. So that was really funny to see.
Yeah, it was, I mean, the very first year I left it intentionally ambiguous. First of all, because I didn't think it would take off like that. I didn't think it was going to be like a big contest like that. And second of all, because, you know, I like to let people identify themselves. And if people, even in their 20s, felt that they were part of the quote-unquote older crowd, if they didn't necessarily, you know, relate to the younger people, but could relate to us, then maybe this was the right contest for them anyway. We're going to look at that for next year, though. We did it the second year, and it was honestly, in the private message conversations I had, there was a lot of confusion, and I don't want to say there were hurt feelings because there weren't. Everyone were pretty awesome, but I could tell a few people didn't like that ambiguity. They wanted to either have me say, yes, you're old enough, or no, you're not.
Right.
And I think to make more people more comfortable next year, I might be imposing an actual age limit.
Okay.
That's undecided. We'll see. I really like the ambiguity, but you know, as you may guess, as contests like this grow, it becomes less about you, the organizer, and more about everybody else that's involved.
Right. And especially with all these prizes, it's, you know, as soon as prizes are involved and you've got some really cool ones, people really try to optimize their winning chances, which is, you know, perfectly fine. But at the same time, it means more involvement for the organizers as well to make sure that everybody is happy.
Yeah, there was only one. Everyone's very nice. Everybody in this whole community is very supportive and very nice and very accommodating. And even the person I'm about to mention was also very pleasant as well. But there was one person I had to outright say no to. And I think it was because of the richness of the prizes. And this person was looking to be a contestant. And I had a feeling not only were they young in terms of years, but they also seemed to fit into the younger scene. Okay. And so when he asked, I said, you know, I don't think I said no to him. I said, I'm not going to say no, but I really don't know that will go well with the public perception if you're in the contest.
Yeah, right.
Left it to him to decide, and he decided not to enter.
All right, which is cool. Have you seen that Weird has actually run a contest for people of age 40 plus as well recently?
I saw the one by Rewind. Is that the one you're thinking of?
Oh, it was, yeah, it was Rewind. Sorry, yeah, right.
Yes, I saw that. That's awesome.
It is, isn't it?
That's great.
Giving more power to the senior citizenship of yo-yoing.
Absolutely. And I had every intention of entering that contest as well. I think it might still be open. Is it still on? Do you know?
To be honest, I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Anyway, I had every intention of entering that, and you know, it's just a combination of things that stopped me. And it wasn't anything to do with anything other than scheduling time and commitment. It's really hard for me to make a video in the first place.
Yeah.
And to make one for a contest that was fairly high profile like that was a bit of a stretch. Even making the video for my own contest was tricky, and I may not do that next year.
But it was cool, your video, so it was worth the work.
It's controversy as well. The first year, because it was originally meant to be a contest between myself and Jamie, I felt I needed to enter a video, or else the whole thing was for nothing. So I entered a video, and when I won, well, I tied with BPG from the forums, and I tried my very best to just give the whole prize to him because I felt wrong about taking anything.
Right.
And you know, like I said before, people in the community are so accommodating that he said, no, like, forget about it. And then Andre actually stepped in and worked something out that we could both receive something. And then this past year, I said right from the beginning that I was going to compete, but not take any of the prizes, which is how it turned out. And I think a lot of people want me to compete next year. A lot of people have said, you know, Greg, I'm going to take you out next year. Just wait and see. You know, so I want to compete on that level, but I've had some parties saying that, hey, you know what, maybe it's time to step down and just organize it. So I haven't decided on that yet either.
All right. So, but I think the good news for now is that they're planning to have another contest next year, because I think it enriches the whole scene and just pulls in more people into the community than through normal contests. So that's really appreciated.
Well, I appreciate that comment. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, Greg, thanks very much for that insight in your yo-yoing and into the contest. For those of you who haven't checked it out yet, do you have a special channel? No, it's probably best to search for the old guys who sort of can throw a thread on the Yoyo Expert forum for the videos, right?
Whenever I need to look it up, if I need to find, you know, any of the old videos from this year, or contact anybody, or look up any of my details, I always go to the search bar. So there's a search button in the main navigation. You can pick store or forums.
Right.
You pick forums, and then you type in, and I call it actually old folks, because there were a couple ladies who were interested in entering. And so it's old folks sorta throw 2014 for this year, and that worked out well. Or you can just drop me a private message on Yoyo Expert if you have an account. It's just GregP, and I'll hook you up with the information you need.
All right, awesome. So again, thanks for your time. Really appreciate that, and we're looking forward to the next round of old folks who can sort of throw 2015.
All right. Well, thanks for inviting me to the show, Andreas. It's been an honor.
All right.
Right.
Bye-bye then.
Bye.
All right. So that was Greg. I've muted him now, so he can still hear me, but we won't be able to hear him. I don't know if he turned off or anything. All right, so that was Greg Pettit from Canada, all the way from Canada, and telling us all about his ventures into organizing contests and being a yo-yo expert on the Yoyo Expert Forum. Check him out on there as well. You can find him under his name, GregP, as he just mentioned. All right, on to my next topic, and I will probably start with the unboxing. How about that? I get my trusty knife here. and this time I have two packages here with me, and the one theme that runs across the two packages that I will unbox today is actually their kind of trouble they had in getting to me, because this one actually went around the world like twice or anything. It was sent to me by G2. Thanks very much for that. And for some strange reason, the people that were supposed to bring it to my doorstep decided to not inform me that a package has indeed arrived. So it was sitting at the post office for a little while until they actually sent it back. How about that? I contacted Jake from G2 about it and asked where the package might have gone and if he had a tracking and everything. He was very, very helpful with finding out where everything was, and he actually wanted to refund me or send out new yo-yos and everything. So he was really awesome about that in getting me those yo-yos. And I said, well, let's hold off. And it was pretty much a year ago, almost even. And I said, let's just give it a little more time. It's Christmas time, and maybe it will just take a little bit longer. And then, like in beginning of January, I get this message from Jake saying, hey, guess what? Your package arrived. And I'm like, whoa, that's convenient. What's it doing there? It's supposed to be here. All right, so he sent it off again. I gave him some more money for postage because it wasn't their fault. So he sent it off again, and here I have it. And just as you might wonder now, okay, he just said that he got it, that arrived in January 2014 in the US again, and was sent back to Germany. How long did it actually take? Well, not that long. It was just sitting in my room and waited to be unpacked for this very special moment. How about that? What's really awesome about this package, and I was really bummed about it not arriving, was that I bought Kendamas. My first Kendamas, and there are from G2. See, I don't even know how to do that. I've tried that like once or twice, but and they can see it. But I'm nowhere good at that stuff. And this one here, opens up as well. Aren't they beautiful? Originally, I have to admit, I wasn't really big on the whole kendama thing, but Frank from I Love Yoyo, he kind of got me into that because he explained to me that you have to use the ken, the lower part, to catch the ball. And ken means sword in Japanese. I thought, well, I should have known that because I do kendo, right, with the sword. So being a kendo guy, I knew I just had to get kendamas now, and what better place, what better thing to get them than G2, I thought. Well, I'm a big G2 fan, so that's why I really liked those. I cannot, as I said, I cannot really say much about kendamas and if they play well or anything because I haven't really tried that. They look nice, so that's really cool. And I know there are other companies, yo-yo companies, that do kendamas nowadays as well. So you probably have kendamas from other manufacturers as well in your possession, maybe or maybe not. Who knows? But the yo-yo was actually the one that I wanted to get. And here it is. It's a Triton, a lava lamp Triton, I think. To my embarrassment, I have to even admit that I'm not 100% sure of the color name, but I can go to the close-up cam, ultra close-up cam, because then you might be able to see that, see? The logo is ghosted in. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's the lava lamp Triton, I think, from G2. Really cool. And really awesome that after roughly a travel around the globe, pretty much, you know, the States to Europe and back to the States and back to Europe. So quite a long way. Really awesome that I got that, and really happy to get not only the cool yo-yo, but two cool looking Kendamas from G2. All right, on to the next package, and that one, oh, let me get this out of the way first. All right, my next package didn't have to travel that far. It only came from the United Kingdom. But nevertheless, it has a story to it as well. Also, this package had some problems getting to me, and I'm preparing the close-up camera for the big thing now, because it didn't get to me in time, and usually it takes just well, less than a week to get yo-yos from UK. This is from Yoyo Z, so that's where I got that from. And Richie is really quick with sending stuff over to Germany. So I was kind of wondering where it was, and I checked out the tracking number that he provided as well, and there it said that it is in some warehouse waiting to to be picked up or something. So I called them up, and they said they're gonna send it again to me, and actually the reason why it didn't get to me and why I didn't get any card and any notification and everything was because apparently the driver couldn't find me, which is kind of strange because he was able to do that in the past. So kind of weird. But I get this package, and it's kind of hard to read, but what it says here in German, it says the reason for it, first, address incorrect, and then the reason for that is the building has been demolished. How about that? It needs a package from the UK to find out that your own house that you live in has been demolished. That's great. All right, well, fortunately, it's not the case. I'm still safely at home. My house, the apartment house I live in, didn't get wrecked. So it's probably the house on the other side of the road got torn down. So maybe he was at the wrong address. I don't know. But I found it. It was great, I thought. So let's see what I have in here. It's a lot of package, a flat. Oh! And it's a bag. Oh. Package from Yoyo Zeekio. And in here should be the little evil. Oh, how cute. Strings by Zeekio. There's a Yoyo Zeekio button. and wrapped in here, the itty bitty little small little evil. It's a collaboration between Zeekio and hspin, and you can tell by the little engraving on here. See, little evil and Zeekio hspin logo. I believe it's a steel yo-yo, and it kind of reminds me of Saint Eel from I Love Yo-Yo, except Saint Eel is a little bit wider, I believe. I should have had it here with me. Apologies for not having the Saint Eel here for comparison, but it's downstairs. But it's similar to that, also with these spikes that it has here, and I can show you here are some spikes. Pretty heavy for such a small yo-yo, but that's what you get when you use steel instead of aluminum. All right, so the little evil got here just fine, despite my house being demolished. Fortunately, that was not the case. All right, so two quick looks at two awesome yo-yos, and I'm on to the topic for today. The topic for today is my top 10 of packaging. And you know that yo-yos oftentimes come in packages like these, you know, even unmarked boxes, or, you know, with decals on them, which is a little bit more elaborate, or, you know, the really cool graphics and art that Caribou Lodge is putting on their yo-yo. So that's really awesome. But some manufacturers just go above and beyond that concept of simple cardboard boxes. And I've compiled a top 10 list of my most favorite packages to date. And today, for show episode 4, I will be looking at 10 to 6. Right, so the first 5 from 10 to 6. Anyway, all right, kicking off this top 10 list is the Yo-Yo Empire Anole. It's a bigger box. It's a cardboard box, but it's a bigger box. And what's really cool is it has this thing, it opens up like that, and kind of presents you the yo-yo as if it was some kind of jewelry. And there's even metal and magnetic mechanism here, so it shuts close like that. Yeah, and stays in place. So that's really cool. I like that, and because it was a relatively cheap yo-yo, but I was still surprised that they put it in a box like that, because that kind of elevates the whole presentation of the yo-yo, I think. All right, next up is another cardboard box, and maybe you've seen that already in a previous episode. It's the one that Yo-Yo community uses for their spectrums, for example. And it opens up like this. And inside you have the yo-yo. It's really cool. I've never seen this fold out or fold open concept before, but I find it's really neat, and with these different colors and everything, it's yeah, it is just cool. I don't know how to better describe it, because it's so much different from the concept itself of packaging a yo-yo and just putting it in a box with a lid and a conventional lid in it. Instead it just folds open like that. Obviously this concept is a favorite of my girlfriend's as well. She likes that a lot. Yeah, and I kind of see where why she likes it, and because I like it as well. It's really neat little concept. So the spectrum from Yoyo community is on number 9. Number 8, and here we have the hspin package. I'm not sure if that was the regular package for all of them. I heard that it was kind of the regular package for them, or I've seen that before, or somebody else mentioned that. But I got this from the special edition. You know, hspin went out of business, and they still sold a few of their remaining yo-yos with the special coloring. So this is quite gruesome with all these blood stains here on it. Real cool color. What I find interesting about this concept, of course, is this do-it-yourself character of the packaging. So you actually have to assemble the yo-yo still. There's an axle and there's the bearing, and you still have to put the whole thing together. The response system is already in place. And this just puts the whole thing apart, and it's really neat to have that little package. So the hspin package on position 7, right? No, yeah. No, 8. Oh man. Everything I learned, I needed to learn from life, I learned in kindergarten, and obviously counting to 10 was not one of the things I learned there. On to the next one is this one. It's a bag, a pouch. It's the pouch from I Love Yoyo, and in here I have the Enigma 2012. But they use it for other yo-yos as well, all the yo-yos pretty much, and they come in these pouches. What is different from the other pouches of other manufacturers is that they have this their name imprinted basically on the pouch. And maybe I can switch to the very close-up camera, because then you might be able to better see it. Here you go. And that's really cool. Apart from the pouch being a leather, I think, or... No, it's not leather. It's, what is it? Velvet? Right. That's the word I was looking for. It feels nice. It has some nice quality to it. And it's really cool that you have this bag and not just a box, and they do it with all their yo-yos, and it just shows some extra care. And as I said, with this name imprinted on it, it just puts an extra touch to the presentation, which is also very much appreciated. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7. On to last but not least in this list is the current kind of collector's edition packaging from Yoyo Factory, which is really cool. You've probably seen it. I think they've introduced it with the Ricochet. Quite expensive yo-yo, but really cool packaging for an expensive yo-yo for that. And this one is the Superstar, I think. No, Supernova. Yeah, right. Supernova, it says right here on the lid. It's the Supernova. You can take it open like that, and then you get out the yo-yo. But what is awesome about it is you also have, well, this little thing to hang it up in the store. Appreciate it for the retailers out there. But if you have more of them, you can actually connect them together. And they're like guides and rails and everything here on top and then on the bottom. So you can actually put them all together to stack them, right? And then on the back, you have holes here, so you can actually hang them to a wall or yeah, a wooden sheet of wood. You know what I mean. You can hang it up, and that's pretty awesome. And it's you know, Yoyo Factory has some cool packages, but this one is, I think, one of my favorite when it comes to presentation, because you can do so much with that, and it's really greatly appreciated that Yoyo Factory goes above and beyond just putting their yo-yos into a box and innovating on presenting yo-yos, not only on the storefront, but also when you have it at home. There's actually going to be another episode about yo-yo displays. It's going to be in episode 6, I believe. So I will definitely come back to this packaging there as well. There. Yeah. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up today's show. I hope you had some fun with it, and yeah, make sure to tune in 2 weeks, because then I will be talking about my top 5 packaging. And if you think this one, these 5 things, packages, boxes, pouches, what have you, is cool, then wait what I've got in store for you in 2 weeks. Also, I will have hopefully some mystery unpackaging, because I bought 2 mystery boxes from 2 European stores, and I don't know what's inside, so that's going to be really cool, and you will find out with me what's inside. And then I will be talking to the guy that might be on the verge of inventing a new official playstyle, 6A, what have you, namely the Double Dragon style, and his name is, I can't pronounce it, so it's Q-Sizan or something like that. I have to find out until in 2 weeks. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you and see you in 2 weeks.